Hello, welcome to Inside Out. Today we are featuring the ins and outs of radio broadcasting, and more specifically, Kean University's radio station, WKNJ 90.3 FM Cougar Radio. I'm your host, Bridget Burns. Today I have with me the hosts of Alternative Facts, Julian and Ben. How are you guys doing on this lovely day?
We're doing great.
We are doing incredible.
We're so happy that we could be on your show today, Bridget.
I'm so glad. What's your guys' show about?
Well, basically we explain alternative facts, and we discuss things that people want to hear in an alternative way to which they want to hear it. So
We subvert the truth.
exactly.
So what exactly does that mean?
We tell you what you want to hear.
That's wonderful. What are each of your roles on the show?
Well, I pretty much explain the news stories about things that happen in international communities that didn't really happen.
I go over news stories that nobody hears about because they never actually happened.
So all the stories you guys tell on your show aren't actually true?
They aren't actually true, but they're alternatively true.
Alternatively,
Oh.
meaning they are true-ish.
You could believe that they're true. They're just not things that actually happened. You know what I mean?
I think I understand, sort
Yeah.
of. So what you're telling me is I can choose to believe the stories that you're telling me which aren't actually true?
Bingo.
Yes.
Perfect. That's so wonderful. How did you two come together and decide to host a show together?
Well, me and Ben, we had this improv class together, and we hit it off really well.
Really well.
Not
Like,
that well.
We got this class together, and we just learned so much about each other.
A whole lot about each other.
Whole lot. Lots of stuff.
Like
Yeah.
how much did you learn about each other?
Everything.
That's lovely. So what inspired you guys to do this type of show, and where did the idea come from?
So, after Trump got elected, we were very inspired to do a whole lot of subverting the truth.
Exactly. If their administration can say anything, we can too.
Would
It
you
was
say
purely coincidental, though.
coincidental?
Yes.
Would you say he inspired you?
In a way, yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. How long have you guys been doing this show together?
Approximately for about 1 month.
1 whole month.
If you
One
round it
whole
up,
month.
it's like 3 weeks and like a couple days.
Maybe 2 weeks.
That's incredible. Longer than most marriages, that's what I say. In your opinion, what has been your favorite episode that you guys have done together?
I think my favorite episode was the one we did essentially on, after the new administration took place, every man in America wanted to be like Trump. So they went out and pretty much, wanted to have their head shaved off, and had a cat that they shaved as well, and wanted to take the cat fur and, make a comb over.
Oh,
So,
yeah, the cat comb-overs. I love that story.
one of my favorite alternative facts.
I actually had a pet cat, and I took him to the pet salon to, get her hair done. And I asked the person to have her get a comb-over like Donald Trump.
And did they do it?
They did it. I had
Oh.
to pay an exorbitant fine for the Donald Trump name, but they did it.
They did it.
They
and
did
that's all that matters. You just do it.
I mean, it fell apart after 3 days, but they did it.
They did it.
They did it.
What kind of obstacles did you guys encounter with this show?
It was really the liberal agenda. There's always a lot of liberals who want to say things.
We also had to deal with Scott over at he's the head of the radio department, and he wasn't exactly too keen on the idea. We had to sell it to him.
You had to sell it.
We had to sell it to him.
How did you guys sell it to him?
I just kept on going over, and I said, hey, Scott, I really want to do this show. And he said, Julian, this is not a very good show. I really want to do this show, Scott. It's my last year here. Please let me do it. I said, okay, Julian.
And you did it.
We did it.
They were super supportive.
I'm so glad. So, we're moving toward the end of the episode here, but how did the first show you guys air go?
Could have went better, right, Ben?
Could have been better. It was
We made a
pretty
couple
incredible.
mistakes,
Yeah,
but it
just
was
but
incredible.
Otherwise, it's just the greatest thing ever.
I mean, there were a couple of phone complaints phoning in saying, hey, that's not actually true. And we had to go on air and say, it's not actually true, but it's alternatively true. Right, Ben?
But it's really alternatively true.
What made you guys interested in broadcasting a show like this?
There's a lot of involvement that happens in the news, and you know, with a lot of news companies being called fake news companies, I figured,
Why can't we be our own fake news company?
Exactly. And so that's what we do, and we're very proud of what we do.
So long as we get those ratings up, and up, Kean is very happy about that.
Raise the roof.
That's what I'm saying. If someone is interested in having their own show, where should they go to have it aired?
You'd have to talk to Scott, the head of the radio department. He's also a professor here at Kean University who teaches communications. And if you sell it to him, if you sell it to Margaret, she's also part of the communications department, then you might be able to nail your own radio show here.
Yeah, I think you just kind of can do that as well as you can go out on the street and just, you know, yell at people's faces, and then eventually someone's going to give you money to start a show.
Oh, sweet. What tips would you have for someone that just is getting their show started?
You gotta be yourself, and you have to sell it. You just gotta just do it, like my hero Shia LaBeouf always tells me.
Also, be yourself, but if yourself is a terrible person, don't be yourself.
Can I be my alternative self?
Yes, you can.
Exactly.
You can be anything you want, Bridget.
Gonna be my alternative self. How has hosting this show, Alternative Facts, changed or impacted each of you?
You know, it's really given me a lot more courage in my life than, you know, anything else I've ever done.
Yes. Instead of putting myself down all the time, I really feel more empowered about myself and that I could really speak my mind.
He's a really powerful person.
Well,
Yeah.
That's just wonderful. Thank you guys so much for coming. And when can we hear you guys broadcast, and where can we find your episodes?
You can find all the information about WKNJ that include information about the DJs and their shows on the website www.wknj903.com. And remember, all Cougar Radio is located on the 4th floor of the Center for Academic Success building, or CAS.
Definitely can't wait for your next show, and thank you again for coming.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. That will be all for this episode of Inside Out at Kean University on 90.3 FM WKNJ Cougar Radio. We'll be back soon with another episode of all the ins and outs of anything and all that is of interest. Bridget Burns signing off.